I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Upload After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. I am your host, Kevin Allen, and I am joined once again by Mr. Nathan Harris.
Yes, I am the main character of this season, so hello, everyone.
Guys, thank you all for coming back. Thank you, Nate, for coming back. Thank you, viewers, for coming back. We are going to be talking about a few episodes, particularly Bring Your Dad to Work Day and shopping around at other Afterlives. So the whole theme for this episode is thank you for being here with us now. We're going to talk about those two episodes, and we're going to go through these characters' arcs, everything that Nora's been doing with her father, trying to welcome him into the Upload fold. We're going to get into Ingrid's relationship dynamic. She's clearly torn between two very extremes here in regards to Nathan. And then we're going to dive into this murder plot because it has been this itch that I've been wanting to scratch all season long, and I feel like we're really starting to make some good headway here. But before I get into all that juicy stuff, remember, this is a comedy. It's a lot of things, but it's also a comedy. So, Nate, how did you find the episodes?
I thought they were great. You know, I like the dynamic where how they brought her dad in and they really showed him that side of it. But it was funny seeing him and Nathan interact and how Nathan was really trying to sell this place, you know, because he was confused at first. He didn't really like it, but he really tried to sell this place to her dad. It might be because he likes Nora. I don't know, but he really tried to sell it. And I think the dad liked it, but I like how they're putting in this dynamic of like the real heaven, and people are going to be thinking about, I don't want to be uploaded. I want to really just go to heaven. So I like how they added that dynamic, but also, like you said, we are making headways. We're getting so much closer to figuring out what's really going on with this whole car crash, because starting off, they didn't really talk or kind of make it seem like it was a conspiracy or someone murdered him. They just, oh, someone got in a car accident. Oh, well, he died. You know, now it's like, And so Nora's over there getting into files. And then, of course, he's trying to see if he wants to go to a new place. So that's good that they're showing different places that you can go. You can go to different Las Vegases and luxury places. So I like both of these seasons. I feel like there's so much information that's jam-packed into them, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Absolutely. This show, as much as it is lighthearted and fun, these episodes in particular really got to the meat of everything.
Yeah.
A lot of the philosophy and the ethics of these extended life simulations. It got into the thick of the murder plot. And as far as the world building goes, yeah, we get to see a lot more of this universe, not just out of the street, but more versions of the afterlife. And I'm living for it. I think the weird, goofy little I can't even think of the word. It's this special brand of odd that they have with all of these conglomerates taking over everything and making these completely synthetic heavens. It's hard to put my finger on it, but
yes, it's weird, but
I'm really excited.
Maybe one day we may have it here.
Yeah. Well, at least we know now that we have options. That was the thing that was freaking me out first and foremost. It was like Horizon's got this $600 billion monopoly, but no, Panera and Disney and everybody's involved.
Everyone.
And on that note, we do have everyone here now with us. Thank you, Kittie. I'm so glad you could make it.
I am so sorry.
It's okay. Just like Nathan, you took a trip into a new digital frontier, but you came to us.
I did.
So we were just talking about the episodes overall. What was your impressions of episodes 7 and 8?
I enjoyed it as always as with the rest of the series. I was super excited to see like a kind of what's the word?
I was struggling with that too.
No, just they're being like, they keep coming up with different scenarios to take them in that kind of lead to the greater picture, which I guess that's the case with any show, right? Like, you have to obviously create more things for it to make sense and the story to progress. But with this specifically, I just really like that they utilize all of the, I owe you an apology. Yeah, right? I was just like, no, it's this show. It was 7.
the first 5 minutes. I was like, oh,
Right.
here we go.
Right.
Okay, well then let's just go ahead and dive right in and talk about those first 5
Sorry.
minutes. So
Yes.
everyone is being chewed out by the boss. Like everyone is being chewed out by Nora's boss. Nora, well, we'll end with her. One woman for pickling something under her desk. Alicia for losing a client on a DV drive or whatever while making a sandwich.
Yes.
And of course Nora for having a angel to client affair with Nathan.
Right.
So yeah, she got in trouble. She got caught. It's bad, and I'm actually surprised that Nora gets to continue spending time with Nathan as an angel after all of this. Like it opens up with that chess scene.
Exactly. The one that I thought was, ugh, I'm so sorry. And I was insisting, that's the worst part. I'm like, no, it is. So
It's just
sorry.
so bingeable. Like it's hard not to keep going with it.
It really is, especially when it's 2:30 in the morning, you don't even know what day it is, and you just keep watching TV. Yeah, there's so much comedy. It's so well done, right? And you're absolutely right. It seems they keep threatening to let them both go, both Alicia and Nora. Like every 2 minutes, they're in trouble, and they're just like, "You're going to get fired if you don't do this, that, and the third." And then the next thing you know, they're back and they're into some more stuff. So I love the fact that they keep getting like checked, but that they're still there. Even the lady with the pickled whatever. And that was hilarious. But you did see like when he was a little guy and he was standing in between the books trying to teach him how
Yeah,
to play.
okay. I know. I'm like now I can picture it, what it
So
was.
sorry.
Props to Nathan, because if he was cheating off of the AI guy, that was really impressive to do it out of the side of his eye with that tiny little chessboard. So,
Right.
he at least has that skill.
Adorable.
And yeah, AI guy does have a bit of a personality. Like
He
he
does.
cares, but it was so weird as his storyline progresses, and Nathan's as well, when Nora brings her father into the Horizon community, and they meet the AI guy. They're like, yeah, he definitely doesn't have a soul.
Right, exactly. It's like, oh no, he's crazy. And that face that he was like, have a good night.
Yeah.
I was like, ew, that's a
Yeah.
creepster.
This is how I know that everyone's avatar are real people behind them. They're people with personalities and behaviors, because that is definitely the result of someone trying to synthesize a personality.
Exactly. He just looks so crazy.
He did.
Ew.
So I want to go right to that. I want to keep this conversation going. Nora brings her dad into Horizon, and he tests it out at a store, which I think is a hilarious concept. That you go to the mall and you test drive an Afterlife,
Right?
and they just pop him straight into the lobby. There's no like waiting room to help adjust people who are new at this. They just
Not at
dive right
all.
in to see
Exactly.
all the weirdness happen at the same time.
Exactly. You had to love it though, right? He gets there and he's just like, what the? Oh my. Da, da, da. Yeah, he's like, I'm out of here initially, which makes
Yeah,
sense.
all
I'd
of
have
the
been
episodes
He
crammed
throws the
into like 5
glasses like
minutes.
I didn't even want to deal with it. He didn't even want to deal with it. He just threw the glasses like
right. He's like, this is crazy. And yeah, I'm good, as I thought I would be. I don't even want to play this game anymore. So funny.
He comes back though. He does. He
He
comes back
does
and actually
for
gives it a
his
fair
daughter.
shot.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, Nathan's showing him around the grounds, and I love the Nathan playing that he was like a Siri
Yes.
to Dave.
Yes.
Just
Initially.
instant bonding. As much as this excursion was ultimately unsuccessful, I feel like it was more about uh, Dave getting to know Nathan and bonding with him for the sake
Oh
of Nora,
yeah.
not really about test driving the Afterlife. What do
yeah,
you think, Nate?
Right.
I feel like he didn't even that was the only reason. Like I feel like he's just doing all of this stuff just for Nora because he knows how much it means to Nora. But he already has his mind made and he's like, I'm going to heaven. I'm not dealing with any of this stuff. My wife is already gone. That's who I'm going to see. Like, I don't care about any of this stuff. You guys, like, he did a great, even like as he expressed after, he did a great job at selling it to me, but I'm going where I'm going, baby girl. I don't care what you got to say. But I think he did go. He got to see Nathan. He got to see like, cool. Like if this is something that my daughter may want to do in the future, let me go meet this guy that she's fallen in love with who's dead already. That so
And that way he's
I'm
not
glad that
leaving
he
her
did that.
alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I started to wonder, and Kittie, Nate, if you guys picked up on this quicker than I did, I was like, why is he interrogating Nathan about his childhood memories? Like, why does he care about what kind of person Nathan is so much, especially when he thought he was a Avatar or a Siri at first?
Well, I'm convinced it's because he loves his daughter, right? Like, if this is the guy that you're going to be crushing on, and you obviously have an affinity for this cat, like, let me see who he is and how he was raised. And not trying to always make it about race, but I don't know if that's like an ethnic thing. Seriously, like most brown and black people be like, who is your family? Who is your dad? What didn't he say that? That's the first thing. Am I right, Nate? Like that's the thing that we ask that, or we. I'm just thinking like me about my son, but I didn't do all that stuff. I've never done that to any
You
of
have a
his
perspective
girlfriends.
that I don't. So like, go ahead. Please inform me.
Right. You're right. Maybe I did donate a little bit.
You did.
Because
I know you did. It's all about it.
Because she's Latina. And I'm just like, she don't speak Spanish. Why she don't speak Spanish? She's a Spanish girl. And I hear myself, but I'm saying it now out loud when you said that. And I was just like, wait, no, I've never done that. I guess I have. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, back to the point, which is most Black and brown people are very interested. And not to say that other ethnicities are not, but I know that it's been my experience that we believe that how you were raised and who raised you has a lot to do with obviously who you are. I think that's like a no-brainer. Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Well, we were just talking about that in the previous episode of Ingrid's family. Like, it's super clear where she gets her flaws from,
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if that's the go-to as much as it is for us. I don't know. Like, again, it's not my, wheelhouse, for lack of a better term. I just know that most parents, I'll put it out there like that, are interested in knowing more about their child's love interest parents because they can relate to, or they want to be able to relate to their experiences and the choices that they made. And not only does it help identify who that person is, but who they possibly will become. I think that's why it's so important, because it's like, okay, who raised you? Is this why you are the way you are? But also, like with Ingrid, you're like, so this is what I have to look forward to. Your mother is the barometer. Like that's scary as hell. Even if she's a decent human being, if you meet the mom and she's a B, then you're just like, I don't want my kid to be with the future B. So I don't know that this is the best route for you to take. So yeah, it was a lot of interrogation, but he did so well, didn't he? He asked me, like,
absolutely. He completely charmed his dad.
This? Yeah, because he asked him, how are you going to deal with, it was kind of like point blank. I'm going to be with my wife and nobody's going to stop me from doing that. And what do you say about that to convince me to stay here? And he's like, nothing, absolutely nothing. You love your wife. I get it. I respect it. Perfect answer.
It really was. I would have challenged him.
I was so happy. I'm like, I can't believe that you answered that. I was like, thank you.
What would you have said, Nate?
Oh, well.
I wouldn't have said anything. I've always been a person that I don't press my thoughts or beliefs onto other people. That's your thoughts. That's how you feel. Go ahead, man. And so, but in that situation, any person probably was like, should I answer in a certain way because of Nora? Because I like Nora and I want to make him switch? Or do I just respect this man's opinion? And so I know it's probably difficult for, especially a man. Okay, what do I do? I don't know how to answer it. He didn't know that Nora would be happy at the way that he answered it. She might have been mad. No, you're supposed to convince him, So he answered the right way, and it ended up being, one of I think the best way he could answer. So I'm proud of him for that one.
I wholeheartedly agree, and I'm really glad you both mentioned that because I would have said something different.
Let's hear it.
What would you have said, Kev?
Well, so I'm going to bring this up because Ivan Soto, who's back in our chat, posed the question, like, what would happen if Nora's father was in Lakeview? Would he still want to go to heaven? Like, if she had been uploaded? And absolutely, I think he would want to he would go there as well. If his wife was there, he would want to be there. And then the whole family could be there. It wouldn't be a dilemma for him. As much as he still has faith, I think it's more about his wife and like her faith, probably.
No, 100%.
But it's such an integral part of who Dave is that posing that question, that hypothetical, kind of changes the nature of Dave. Like, But what I would have posed to him is that, so Dave was talking with Nathan, and basically they got into the soul versus consciousness debate.
Right.
That you have a soul and that's who you are. And then Nathan came at it, well, your brain is like a meat computer and that's what makes up who you are. So my notion is, okay, Dave, if you're saying that your soul is who you really are and your souls that go to heaven and that Nathan is just a synthetic version, he's just this digital knockoff, then what difference does it make for you to choose this? Because your soul would go to heaven and then Nora would just have this fake copy to hang out with. You can have both. They're not exclusive. That's what I would have said.
Mutually exclusive.
I
Absolutely.
love that you brought that up because I was thinking about that this whole time. Because I was like, and I didn't know. I was like, because isn't there a difference between our soul and our consciousness? Our consciousness is just us being able to understand right here in this earth realm. So I'm like, there could be separate. But I was like, I don't know for sure though, but they could be separate. And so throughout that, I was go ahead.
No, you're right on. You're about to say it. Just do it.
So throughout that, I was just thinking like, what if you can just go both? Like your soul is still in heaven, but your consciousness is still in this little computer realm because that's what our brains are. But I guess our brain is created by the creator and these brains are created by computers.
That's the thing is if you're going to argue that you're made up of two things, a soul and a consciousness, I can't imagine that by making a digital copy of your consciousness, you are removing the real one, the one that would go to heaven. You're just making a copy. So
right,
because they're getting so much data from us even now, right? And so as they continue to do this, they can literally get so much data where they know how our mind is thinking to create that exact AI to put in these VR settings to have these virtual heaven. But I still die and go to heaven.
Yeah, there was an episode of Black Mirror that pretty much was this, and that we talked about that. This show is Black Mirror.
That's what we said. Black Mirror meets The Good Place.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember the
like,
correlation.
they did an episode about how you could just download someone's personality from Facebook.
It kind of reminds me
so deep into this rabbit hole.
But it's good, and that's what good TV, in my opinion, is. Something that makes you think, something that once you turn the TV off, hours later, years later, whatever, days later, you're able to bring that back up and have it be a dialogue or even just a conversation within your own mind as to what that exactly means. Not to get too deep into that rabbit hole. Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it art, but that's also what makes it consciousness, because I think about the fact that I remember an ex of mine when I still lived at home in DC, we used to go to this church and it would be like a random Wednesday night. And he would be like, what'd you think about what Pastor Wesley said about da 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 da? And I would be like, I am so grateful that I have this church, that it does provoke thoughts in me that linger enough that on a random Wednesday, this is a conversation that we can still have, and it doesn't just stop at the church doors, that he has engaged us enough that we want to question certain things about our choices in life as it relates to religion or spirituality or whatever. And it also reminded me of a saying that my mother always used to say when I was growing up, and now of course I understand it, but back then I was just like, oh yeah, so profound. That's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. My mother would always say, you are where you're supposed to be, because if you're not, you would be there. And I'd be like, oh yeah, okay. Because in my mind, I just kept thinking, if I made a left instead of a right, then I would be there. But that's exactly what she was saying, right? We are where we're supposed to be because we are. These are the culmination of the choices and the consciousness that we've had over the years, over the days, and decided from the experiences that we've already incurred, what steps we want to make next, what choices will lead us to a prayerfully or hopefully different consciousness. So I think you guys are absolutely, I agree. Like, you definitely hit the nail on the head. It is, and it's hard to think that way, because as a spiritual person, you'd like to think that your soul is something that cannot be duplicated, and is most certainly created by something greater than yourself, thereby unable to be made again and again, to just be stamped next. You'd like to think that. But I think that you guys, again, make the best point, because at the end of the day, your consciousness is what you create. It is what your soul becomes your soul as a result of that consciousness.
Yeah, they essentially become indistinguishable.
Yeah.
one from the other. Like from the observer, we have no way of determining which is where one ends and the other begins.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that you can make a copy and put the copy. That's what they're doing, is putting the copy in the eternal afterlife, and then the original goes. So there's two. There's two of you, which is something I find that's weird because the show keeps talking about like this is the only copy of your boyfriend or whatever that exists in, you know, or your son. And
right.
I'm
Don't
like,
screw it up.
I'm like, well, can you back up a person if the
yeah,
like, so yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. I'm like, we're starting to get
very layered,
some metaphysical quandaries here and real sticky stuff. But before we dive into all of that, which I don't think we'll ever get to, let's go with another dilemma that has been brought up on the show, and that is whether or not Ingrid should freeze him for 6 days or delete him or like the
she took us after we felt so bad for her, right? After we
right?
started falling in love with her, she brings us right back around to this is really who I am. Just to remind you guys, I'm really like an airhead and a bee.
Yeah, she's in this relationship meeting for people who have relationships with uploads, and I shout out to the woman who just forgot to hit the agree button and then just like found all of the missing text. I was the stitches by that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's apparently torn between two extremes, weighing the pros and cons of deleting his account versus marrying him. And I'm just like, how is there no gray area with that?
Because her little hot ass gave up the cha-cha to not only just some guy, but her man's business partner, who she totally thought was a douche. Remember, I told you during the funeral.
You did, but was it him? Was it the douchebag, or was it Jamie?
No,
because Jamie was the business partner. Was the other guy actually Derek? Was he actually?
The three of them worked on a business together. That's why they were in that picture holding the the like trophy or whatever that was.
Yeah, I thought it was a competition, not
to commemorate
like business thing. But Jamie wasn't.
I don't think it tells us. I don't think it tells us.
It can't be. I refuse to be Jamie. No.
It doesn't tell us. It doesn't tell us. But let's move on because this doesn't tell us. I don't think it says.
Okay. Whoa. Sorry.
But yeah, she kissed him, which turns out to mean she slept with him or gave him a handy or whatever. It's like, I mean, the girl has no objective like self-reflection on her own behavior at all. And
there's somebody that might not have a soul. Real talk. Just saying. She seems a little soulless. Am I right?
You have the ball.
I mean, that last.
Oh, you were right.
I'm like making Kevin's head hurt. Like, wait a minute, mind
It's so hard to peg her actions because she's this pro and con list that she's reading off to everyone. Like the whole room faces are saying like, "This is nuts."
They're repulsed.
How can you feel
her.
like this?
Right.
But when you know what? No, yeah, because later on in the episode, when she finds out that he has like left Horizon to go view other places,
the way she handles that shit.
Yeah, it's like she got her car stolen.
Oh, but worse, right? Like a really nice car, like a Tesla. She didn't just get her Honda taken; it was her Tesla. Yeah.
But just everything about tracking him down, she literally does call him her property.
Yeah,
and that it's his life because she's paying for it. And so
that's right.
Yeah, any sense of empathy I thought she had for him is completely in question now because she's treating him like an object.
Yeah, exactly. Dressing him up and all the rest of that all goes together. That all makes sense. And I think the saddest part about that is that he's such a good person and has such a great soul that he says to himself, would I rather live an existence as her puppet and then be like not a good person and just basically cheat behind her back with Nora? Or do I come correct and say, bump it, I'll go down to 2G and just do what I got to do to make it work with Nora, with the understanding that at least I won't be under the direction of Ingrid anymore.
And that's such
pretty
a
noble.
Strong decision for him. Noble. Yeah, it's a pretty noble decision for him to take because he's not taking the safe route by like getting him secured in a different afterlife first before he does the cancel button with Ingrid.
Exactly.
Like he's risking his existence to stay where Nora can be with him and he can do the right thing. First, like there's that line. I think it's so telling of him and this character. I loved it.
So telling.
Is
I
that
What
feel
was
like
it? Wait, let me hear the
it
line.
was the line was the girl you love is going to be at Lakeview, and like
Who said
that's
that?
what's it was Ingrid. Ingrid said that to
Oh.
Nathan, saying like, why would you want to be at any other Disney's Infinity or Panera's Nero or whatever it was? And she goes, why would you want to be anywhere else? The girl you love is going to be at Lakeview. And he said that looking past, or she said that to him, and he was looking past her at Nora.
To Nora.
And that's
he
the
was
only
like,
reason he agreed.
yeah. So
Pretty
he's
cool.
risking his existence to be with Nora, and also, like you were saying, to do the right thing, and like just not just run away with her, you know?
Exactly, because neither one of them would be happy in that. I mean, I don't even know if that's possible. Run away and go where? Like, where would they go?
Well, so we were talking about this, Nate and I, that it's nice to see there's other options. I mean, all these companies. There's the Panera version of the Vegas resort. There's the one in Tuscany, which is surprisingly not owned by Panera, but a different company.
Right.
There was Kmart Villa's View or something like that.
Oh my God. No, and then how about the one, wasn't it one that was like in a desert or something? I forget. There was
the Safari.
Yeah, there was.
The Nat Geo
Safari.
Instagram Safari. Yeah.
There you go.
I was
Doesn't the
smart,
guy that's peddling these places remind you of an attorney, like a lowbrow attorney?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Right?
Absolutely. Used car salesman.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Kind of
Yeah,
vibe,
that's even better. Exactly. Because the mom walks in like, wait, where's the glasses?
Oh.
He's like, oh, they're overrated. We're just gonna blanket the whole office.
I actually thought IR was kind of cool.
You thought
Like,
was
like,
what
oh,
was
you're
cool?
surrounded by it. Like,
Right,
you're just in it.
exactly.
Until he said you couldn't fly a drone into one of the things. I'm like, what's the point? You can't see anything from up
You
here.
can't see anything. It was so good. That was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
I was
poor
trying to
mom, she just looks so overwhelmed. Like, what
She
is
is.
what do I
Wait,
need to
what's
do
going
at this
on?
point? Yeah. Poor mom.
Yeah, she is absolutely overwhelmed. Not, and then to make matters worse, she finds out from Nora toward the end of the episode that there's this murder plot against him, which is 100% confirmed now.
Yes.
Since someone tried to drown him, more or less. So yeah, here's what we discover in this episode. Nora figures out that it's the owner of, or the person they've been doing business with the corporation, Spencer, if that's his name, he's now dead. So it's him, Fran, and I'm still waiting for Nathan to figure that out. And Nathan all died. All of the memory files between him and Jamie are corrupted at the exact right moment that has specifics to say who did what.
Right.
Like, there's complete corporate conspiracy. Oh, and then there's the brownout that happens. Someone tries to sabotage the server that he lives in. Like,
while he was there, that's why everyone started turning into the blocks and stuff, or the Legos.
Yeah, so it wasn't people elsewhere like her dad. It was only people who live in that server.
Right. That's a good point.
So I'm thinking inside job, first of all, because somebody not only deleted the files, but had access to that server room.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we discovered, like, who else knew that I was leaving and would be out in this hard drive all day? It's got to be someone from Horizon. What do you guys think?
I was so scared that Nora was going to get caught. I was literally on the edge of my seat, like, no, girl, go back to your desk. You'll figure it out later. Don't do it now. Don't do it now, please. Because can you imagine losing your job? I don't know. Is that like an arrestable? Is that like a crime?
Yeah.
Right? She would go to jail probably behind that. I'm like, you really love this dude. Like, dang, the living must be really sucky, including Byron, for you to take such, great risks. And as usual, Alicia coming to the rescue. She's like, oh, she left. That girl skills. She is out of here.
That 5-star rating you gave her, like, you were 100% right. She is a good friend.
Right. She's so awesome. And she's so comedic, like, without trying. Doesn't it seem like she just effortlessly has these beats? Like, they write the script, like, they could write, like, I'm walking down the hall, but the way she delivers it is just like, oh, girl, you're walking down the hall. You are funny.
whipping and naying in the middle of the room. Like they pull back wide as she turned. I was like, I could watch this all day.
All day. Yo, she was into it. You gotta love it. That was the best.
I wanted to add this real quick. Ivan in the comments said that they didn't have access. It might not be an inside job because they didn't have access. That's why they dropped the bomb in there to blow up all the computers. That's what caused everything. Because
So
remember,
you and our chat just pointed that out to me. So thank you.
That's what he said, Ivan from the chat. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're reading it too. Okay.
Yeah, I'm reading from the chat. That's what I'm reading from.
Oh.
Wait, but then my question becomes, what about that little circular deal that she presses and pushes under the door and attaches itself to?
That's what we're referring to. But somebody had access to be in that building, is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
Someone had the means to get right outside those servers and throw that thing under there. So it's got to be someone with company access.
I get your
right, Ivan? Am I right, buddy?
Right, hook us up, Ivan.
Because it didn't show a bomb. It just exploded. I don't know.
Well, it was like it was a magnet. It's future tech. It's future tech. Right. It magnetized, probably dropped a virus or something like that. Like it corrupted files. We don't know what it turned everyone into blocks. That's what we do know.
Yeah, absolutely. We do know that.
Oh, I'm Pac-Man again.
Oh, that was priceless, wasn't it? He was like, can we just please, right? He's like, can we just please do the rest of this in silence? Because he kept trying to make it not weird, but I'm literally looking over at you and you're a block person.
Yeah,
I don't know how I'm supposed
to right now.
Right, like how am I supposed to reconcile that in my brain? It was going well. I'll give you props, but now you're just creepy.
So I want to pose this to you guys and to Ivan and everyone in the chats and watching. I suggested the theory that it's someone from Horizon inside job, because they're the company that feels threatened. But there's also this group we've been hearing about, the Ludds, which I'm assuming is short for Luddites. They were blamed for the download going wrong, and they were brought up today, Ludd Life, as a potential candidate for the brownouts. That's who Nora's boss pinned it on with her boss.
I'm so lost. Wait, what?
Okay, so when Nora was coming back in after they called it the brownout,
right?
She's on the phone with her boss, played by Larry Wilmore, and he was like, "What happened? What was? Oh, it was nothing, probably." And I think she blamed it on the Ludds, which is a group that was mentioned once before with when Nora and her dad were having their virtual day out. It was on the news that people were blaming the download malfunction on this group called the Ludds. I'm assuming Ludd is short for Luddite, which is a term for people who do not like technology.
Oh,
so they're just someone to keep in mind, I think.
Got you. I like that she downplayed it too. Thank goodness she didn't have any inclination that there was foul play. She's like, I think it's just a brownout, sir. There's nothing to lose your mind over. Thank goodness.
Like, she does not care if things are done well. She just wants to make sure her ass is covered. Like,
no question. Every 2 seconds. Exactly. She's so annoying. She's like, I will take you from a 5.8. Wait, we don't have 5.8. Yeah. Like, just to even think about her reprimands, because she's so ridiculous.
Okay, so remember that previous episode when she was giving her shit about not being a 4.6? She was a 4.58. And like, okay, well, if you're all about the numbers, then 4.8 should be 4.8. You can't treat her like a 3.6 just because she's acting like one now, or you think she is. She's a 4.8. Do you like the numbers or not, boss?
She's the boss, so she can actually exactly throw it all out the window.
All right. All I'm getting at is she is not getting my 5-star rating. So on that note, let's jump ahead now to our special segment. Who do you guys want to give a 5-star rating to?
I got mine.
Yeah, go. Do it. Go, Kittie.
Luke gets it this week from me. Not only did he reprise himself from the weirdo Manirdo that I once thought he was, and Kevin was just like, no, he's not a weirdo Manirdo. I'm telling you, they're going to be best friends. It just makes sense. They're around the same age. They dress alike, da-da-da. And I was just like, I don't like him for Nate's
I'm just
friend.
saying.
No, but I get that.
He doesn't get the pick of the litter. It's slim pickings.
You got to do what you got to do. And there was correlation there. But this week, I'm giving it to him because not only did he redeem himself 110% and being a cool guy, he's just like a cornball, not necessarily a weirdo Manito, but he also slept with homeboy's grandma.
That's right.
Yes, that thing said, and I can hyperextend my legs. Oh my God. I lived. I thought that was the best scene ever. I was like, did you just stick it to that man's grandma?
Yep.
It was so good. So yeah, big ups to Luke. He gets 5
that
stars
black and
all
white
day
ass.
long. Right. He's like, I don't even need Nightly anymore. I got
Nope.
built-in 1920 ass. Okay, I'm good.
Oh my God. It's so like the
good.
weird, like the fact that she's in like grayscale.
Yeah.
Because it was especially weird for me when she was doing the seductive thing with the honeydew melon that was like vividly green against her.
Right, against that. Wasn't that
I was
great?
like, this is
She's like,
so
all I want to do is be told what to do. Yes, sir. I was like,
so thirsty.
okay. But clearly they both are, so that's what makes it
That's
so
true.
awesome.
Yeah, so
They
he's like,
both-
wait, hold on. This is set up.
Right, at first he's just like, wait, what's happening? And then he saw, just like you said, it was probably that green contrast against that black and white. He was like, oh, she's sexy. She gonna get it.
Oh yeah.
Because she clearly is throwing it at me.
It doesn't matter if she's from the Great Depression, she's working it.
She is. She was great.
I just want to throw this out there because it's a terrible, terrible joke. Match made in heaven.
Kill
But
me now.
you have to say that though. You have to say that.
I did. Nate, do you have a 5-star rating?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, mine is of Dad. Yes, the dad is mine.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
I just loved how he came in for his daughter. I'm like I can't wait to have a daughter to beat up the boys type of guy, and to make sure my little girl is being treated right. So Dad, and then I like how just through his character, they are still touching reality and talking about going to real heaven and not just this superficial. So like this isn't happening by 2033, but whenever this does happen, if this ever does happen in our real world, that is going to be a hurdle. Like there's still going to be people who maybe have the money to be uploaded, but they're like, I'm not dealing with this stuff. So I'm glad that they showed that side, that there are people who, not everyone's just jumping on this tech wave, and there's still people who want to be humans.
Yeah, I did like
my 5
that.
stars.
Do you remember the line? Excuse me. Do either of you remember the line that when the dad first got on the horse with Nathan, he said something about it isn't heaven, but it also isn't. What was the correlation he made? Do you remember that?
I do remember.
Because I thought that was really poignant.
I remember Nathan saying something about this literally is just an extension of life.
Yeah,
and that's where heaven, and it's not. It's just but it's not. It was something like it's just as imperfect as life.
Something like that. I just like the line, and I should have. It just reminded you're going back to look that one up.
We should, because this is the show, like in one line,
in a nutshell, right? Yeah, I liked how it was very poignant without being like, and that's what I really like about Nate. He says stuff that he genuinely, you can tell, believes and feels, but not in such a way that he's like trying to school anybody. He's not like a tell-all. That would be like Ingrid's role if she happened to be there. She'd be like, well, this is actually, you know what I mean? Whereas Nate's just like conversationally saying, actually, dude, this is this and this, that, you know? It's kind of cool.
While Nate looks it up, I'm going to pose on mine, because you guys picked great choices. Like I'm like, oh, those are who I would have picked. And for the same reasons. So yeah, spot on ratings, guys. And I want to give it to Nora for pulling the walk on water trick on Nathan twice.
So funny.
I was feeling over. The way the show set it up and everything, that like Happy, like, oh, he's gonna have this really magical moment, and just cut it out from underneath him.
Right. How cute
dying.
were they swimming though, like bobbing up and down the first time? I was like, oh, kill me now. You guys are so cute together.
So him watching that memory, all I could think of was like, dude, you are gonna get her in so much trouble.
I know.
Because the other angel was like, oh, you know her name. Like he's laying everything out right in front of one of her coworkers.
Exactly. Like this is not okay.
And then she absolutely did get in trouble. You know what? Okay, so I can't shout out to her because that's cheating.
Yes.
So I'm going to cheat in a different way. I'm going to shout out to the art department and writing team, whoever's in charge of coming up with all of these conglomerates, because I think they're hysterical. The airline, Frontier, Spirit, United Airlines, and then they go to AAA, Royal Caribbean, Expedia, travel services. Like I Love all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like product placement almost.
Yeah. Oh, and
And
speaking
then
of
I don't
product
know if
placement, the
not to cut
Roscoe's
you off.
chicken and waffle shirts. Just
Yeah,
good stuff.
that.
Oh, the Roscoe's. Yes, I was here for it.
Yes.
He knows
But
what he
also, I
smells
don't know
like
if you guys.
now, and he smells like chicken and waffles. Yes, sorry, Nate.
No, it is fine. I'm just trying to get this in. And then the
Please.
last episode, when they're in the black market, they were talking about. They said something
Gray
like
market.
Facebook, gray market, right? Facebook something, but they're talking about some type of Facebook currency, and that's what they wanted to be paid in. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, Facebook
No.
Libras. I didn't.
Libras,
I
yes,
didn't get
Facebook
it.
Libras. Well,
I
no,
didn't get
like
it.
he was like, pay me in Facebook Libras. So maybe like that was their new form of currency in the future.
Right, no, I
Oh,
remember
okay.
hearing it. I
Facebook
just wasn't sure what
dollars.
it meant. Right, no doubt.
That's okay.
And real
Yeah.
quick before we go, that's a good point, Nate. Thank you. I will keep that in mind moving forward. Who said, "Is this what your daughter would look like"? Remember when Nora showed up on
that was Nora. That was Nora.
Nora did say
when
that?
she jumped in on Nathan. No, wait, no, sorry. It was Alicia about Nora.
That's right. Because
Nathan
I was like, why would Nora say that?
meeting.
Yeah.
Oh
Alicia
yeah.
was like, that was just what y'all baby gonna look like. And
And there
both
was
of them just kind of blushed.
There was something about that too, because it was Nathan, Nora, and Nevaeh.
Yeah. And
I
the
was like,
niece.
yeah, so just NNNN. I was like, oh, they got a little thing going on.
Aw, I didn't even peep that. We're just
Nathan, Nora,
tying
Nevaeh.
all type of dots together.
There's
Love it.
so many details to appreciate. I wish we could talk about them all, but we're going to step away for a while so we can watch the last 2 episodes, and we will get back to you, the amazing fans, and let you know when we can cover the finale, because I am itching to wrap this show up. This is the most
Me
bingeable series I've
too.
watched in a long time.
Aw.
Thank you, fans, for being here, for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. Please like and subscribe. Give us 5 stars or bells or whatever it is that makes you happy, because just having you be here is what makes us happy. And thank you, Nate and Kittie, for being here as well. Where can everyone find you out online? Nate.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Royal Nate _.
Nice.
Royal
And I'm on
Nate_.
IG at Kittie as Kittie Kaboom, KITTIE KABOOM, and on Twitter at Kittie Meow.
All right. And I'm Keven Allen. You can find me on Twitter at Keven Allen Says, Instagram at Keven Allen Graham. I look forward to their merger with Nat Geo and dying in the safari or whatever. But until then, we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
I'm Maria Menounos, and our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.